Reynor was just actually saying that apparently it's really hot in the booth, and he wanted to turn on the AC, but ByuN was like, no AC, no AC, I like it hot.
But they're sitting in the same booth?
Yeah, they're sitting in the same booth. And then the admin was like, yo, you can move to the other booth if you want to. He's like, no, I don't want to.
They're actually sitting next to each other.
Yeah, they're sitting right next to each other. I mean, obviously there's a screen in between them, so they can't actually look at each other's monitors, but...
it is a 3cc opener, so not super committed, but you can catch up on the drones that he lost just now, and it's not the end of the world. But he's already quite far behind in upgrades. I think ByuN went E-base before the extra reg, so his upgrades are super fast. He might want to capitalize on that, especially when 2-2 kicks in. And I'd imagine he even goes straight into Widow Mines, so we might see a very aggressive, multitask-focused style from ByuN here.
Well, the armor is going to go down, so that also means that these Widow Mines are going to be permanently cloaked way before Drilling Claws even finishes up, if he wants to go into that direction. ByuN throws down a scan, he will see the evolution chambers. Only one of them is working at the moment, but Reynor should not waste too much time, or should not wait too much longer to fire up +1 melee. Overall, I don't hate it for Reynor, 16 drone advantage. I think the creep is getting well out there, but it really comes down to the first proper engagements. Once the Terran upgrades kick in, +1 combat shield, +1 armor.
Yeah, I think this is like an average outcome of an early game of the ZVT, where the Zerg gets up to 80 drones, then has to start making units, and then the Terran, basically, because they mine a little bit less, they have to trade more efficiently, but they have all the tools to do so, since they can just pick up their units.
We can also morph the Hellions into Hellbat still, right? But the armor is done right now.
It's true, but I wouldn't like it too much. I think it's better to contain the creep with the Hellions at this point than sending them in.
Centrifugal hooks finishing up in just a couple seconds now. That's going to be very helpful with this aggression here. 1-1 is just done. Okay, Micro Jackson picks up.
Really
out of
good,
there.
really good creep there, but very
nice
around, yeah.
Grabbing a couple of the Hellions. Could turn them into Hellbats, but no longer.
Yeah, it's actually a super straight up game from ByuN. Usually I only see Clem ever beating Reynor or Cell like this. And Maru sometimes as well, of course, but Maru doesn't even play Widow Mines that much. But when he does, he also has a chance. But usually I would just say Clem is favored against Cyril and Reynor when he plays like this. A little bit of a miss rally there with the Marines and the Widow Mines at the top, but did take a decent engagement in the middle of the map as well.
Can we take a look at the unit's lost resource tab very quickly, our lovely observer? Okay, it's still very close. Reynor losing a couple hundred resources more.
Yeah.
So we can see that neither player has truly committed into anything. Reynor hasn't gone for any of the big patented run-bys. He's probably happy with his economy and maybe feels that it would just be a bit too obvious and ByuN has too many units right now. So for him, it's all about not taking too much damage. Maybe once ByuN starts him spreading himself thin over 4 bases, that's where Reynor can actually find some eco damage. But first, it's ByuN here with 4 medivacs. It's a lot of units, but he's not going to move them.
Yeah, it would have maybe been better to go straight to the main because Reynor didn't actually have the watchtower. The creep is still looking not that great, honestly, for it being Data C. ByuN is doing a great job containing the creep spread, even though he's not trading that well. He's fighting well for map control, just like we see here every time he scans. This time he didn't get the tumors though, so nice defense from Reynor. It's really important to keep this part of the map covered in creep, otherwise the Terran can drag the engagements out of creep, and then the Widow Mines can hit a little bit stronger.
Oh, this could be big.
Yeah, he actually unloads right on top of a whole lot of Zerg. Gets one of the medivacs. At the same time, there's a roll-by over here as well. Widow Mines, good splits from Reynor.
Wow.
Forced to pick up out of there as well.
That's actually also good for Reynor. He's still very close to being maxed out, and it's just taking care of the army in the top left side. Just takes care of a lot of these Widow Mines that ideally ByuN obviously wants to just have there for a long time.
Yeah.
He can create this whole path that makes it basically impossible for the Zerg to ever run into it. Reynor just kind of dismantled that setup without any problems whatsoever. And ByuN really seems to be in a bit of trouble right now. This game is far running out of control.
Yeah, it's a very snowbally style, because once you lose your army on one side, the Zerg can merge their armies and fight with everything together. Reynor has enough at the top to defend, and now he's trying to attack. I'm not sure I'm the biggest fan of this, but at the very least he's going to get a bunch of SCVs here. 9 SCVs go down. Not the greatest trade, but he can trade inefficiently because he's been out-mining ByuN for most of this game so far.
Yeah, the only thing that he doesn't have yet is a Lurker den, if I'm not mistaken. But I guess he's happy to just play High Dwelling Vein for now.
Yeah, I think he will stay on it. ByuN doesn't even have a second factory, so he's just very bio-heavy, which this does fine against so far.
37 Banelings at once. Reynor is like, alright, that perhaps didn't go all that good, but let's see if the second wave can do a little bit better than the first one. as the first Withermine did some friendly fire there to a couple of the bio units. Looking for the Banelings, does not get the Banelings. And with all the Marines, it was a bit easier to take out this many Banelings. With the Marauders, it's a bit harder. ByuN is still doing a phenomenal job though in keeping these units alive for as long as possible. But it seems that in the end there is perhaps a little bit too much Zerg, as Reynor will find once more and more economic damage. I mean, ByuN has done very good here, but I still think he's in a world of trouble.
Yeah, he microed the best he could, but he just didn't have the numbers.
GG.
Ooh, what do we got here, guys?
Very quick
Armory. Obviously, Cloak could be fake, but sometimes they actually go medivac and then they suddenly do follow it up with Cloak Banshee, so can be 100% certain, but I think it's pretty likely that ByuN is going to cancel this.
And what is Reynor doing? He's going for a very, very fast lair, which is not good against Hellbat builds because it's a lot of money that is not invested in a Baning Nest or an extra queen. Obviously, you can't produce queens from the hatchery that is making the lair, so...
Yeah, is he going to get a Baneling Nest with this? Yeah, there it is. Okay.
Has Reynor scouted anything, guys?
Nope.
He's scouted the wall, yeah.
Yeah, not the main base.
That can't possibly be the right idea.
Not the right idea, but as long as he has Zerglings out and he can morph Banelings, yeah, I think this is early enough. Like, he saw it, he had enough of a time to morph the Banelings and now kite towards the Banelings with the queens. It's very important that the Banelings morph at the base where the queens are walking to, and that's exactly what's happening. They're morphing the natural.
Oh, the medivac!
Wow.
Way overexposed from ByuN, and now the Hellbats have to run a decent split, but there's just not that many Hellbats left already, and there's an Overseer already.
And this is where you really want to have that medivac alive, right? Normally, though, this push is intimidating, and it's scary because of the fact that the medivac can just sit in the back, pick up units, and obviously heal the Hellbats while they're soaking up a lot of the shots from the queens. ByuN losing the medivac there as quickly as he did basically meant the end of his push before it even began. Reynor handled that very well, but I also think it was a bit of miscontrol on the side of ByuN. You know what's kind of cool is that obviously Reynor was watching that game between ByuN and Serral here on Waterfall, where ByuN went for the 2-base all-in that lasted forever, and it looked like it had a lot of potential. At one point we all thought that ByuN kind of had the game locked up. And eventually ByuN floated over the main and he even floated over the natural, so he was like the 4-base, 2-base Terran. But Reynor mentioned multiple times that if he would be in a similar scenario and he would go up against 2-base ByuN on this map and it would just be Marine tanks, maybe a couple of Liberators, he won't fight the army. He said non-stop counterattacks, non-stop run-bys. He's like, I'm not bothered at all. I'm willing to sacrifice a base. I will just counterattack over and over again. So it will be very interesting to see if he's actually going to do that or not.
Yeah, he kind of has to now. He overdroned a little bit. Obviously, the early game was very good for him, so maybe he's allowed to in this game. But he started both upgrades, which is also a decision that... I mean, you can also just start Carapace if you're up against a 2-base. You can even just start Baning Speed and try to crush the army as early as possible. There's a lot of different ways to go about this. But yeah, he overdroned a little bit, so I don't think he can run by now as well, because there is a full wall.
He's got 5 hatcheries.
He's losing
here
2
as well,
hatcheries
right?
here at the same
he needs
time.
to get something done here. I guess he's waiting for, well, all the 3 upgrades that we see just about to finish up, which is going to be nice, but ByuN has already done a significant amount of damage at this point.
Yeah. Is there a world where you could be, if you're ByuN here, you're like, kind of satisfied with what I got there, still have a lot of units, I can go home?
It's so... I'm not sure. I'm not sure that that's what he does. I think you slowly rotate, but now that you kill 2 bases, you can push very slowly. You never need to fully commit on creep. I think that's the adjustment that he needs to make. So he doesn't go too fast anymore, because this army is not reinforced for quite a while. So Reynor tries to pounce on it now, but this is a very mistimed flank from the bottom. These units didn't come in at all. Yeah. It's still enough units, and it's a decent trade.
Only 2 medivacs, right?
Yeah, not enough medivacs to pick up everything. So still a decent army supply advantage from ByuN, and he also already does have 1-1-1, which is very uncommon for it.
He's still sitting at just 2 command centers here in total, right?
Yeah,
so this all-in will just continue. Obviously, Reynor lost a couple hatcheries, but he saved most of the drones, and he got that really quick 5th base. He's even going into the +2 armor right now, so I guess he's expecting this to take a while.
It's funny because that's exactly what Yona did as well, right? Only +2 armor.
I think Reynor's gonna struggle for larva though, because he has the drones, but you can't really from 3 hatcheries produce enough links to spend all your minerals.
Right.
It's just not possible. So he needs to mass queens right now. He might as well start the upgrades because he has the minerals for it. And then he needs to try to delay, I guess.
Trying to grab a couple of the reinforcements, but they just arrived at the main Terran pack.
That tank has potential, by the way. That's sieging up right now.
Yeah, super scary spot.
ByuN forgot he has an armory, so he's making a 2nd armory. Even though he has +1 on the tanks.
That's funny.
That's funny, yeah.
What if he thinks it's the 2nd eBay?
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know why he even has.
He's gonna push that slowly though?
Yeah, I
does
think
he really have time to like wait for that long?
I think he does. Yeah, I think it's very important that all of these fights are off creep. Good position behind the tanks. Loads up very early though, there were no banelings close by yet. And at the same time he's doing
Queens.
damage in the main base.
Why are the queens just standing there? They're just waiting, I guess.
That's a kill on the hatchery as well. The tanks do fall in the end, but there are still so many Marines left of ByuN. He's in the main base right now, and this man is like reliving Bolt in his glory days as he's sniping hatcheries left, right, and center. I think in this 10-minute game, ByuN has now killed 5-6 hatcheries. Reynor is running out of steam. It just did not work out for Reynor. Beautiful positioning. Even the spawning pool is going to get picked up. It's 4 hatches at the moment and a spawning pool. Pretty sick by ByuN.
Yeah, pretty sick by ByuN. I think a little bit of an just too many drones from Reynor, plus the double upgrades, plus the extra hatcheries were maybe a little bit too late. Combination of that just made it impossible for him to hold the left side, and with the left side gone, it's not enough larva to contest what ByuN has, but also great army positioning, great micro from ByuN. Just like we know him. He even has 2-2 on the way. He has a 3rd CC now, so he's not that all in anymore. I'm pretty sure he knows he won, so he's just stimming down with his Marines. Going back, abusing the ramp. It's so difficult to fight into this position for Reynor.
And the Baneling snipes have been super sexy this game by ByuN. We know that he's capable of it, but he just keeps on doing it. Another Baneling has connected with Marines in quite some time. And there is one there that finds 1 or 2, but I don't think ByuN really cares anymore. He knows that the writing is on the wall, as he's in the bottom right side again with 8 more Marines. This was a sick game. Can we take a look at the unit's last resource tab in the end?
Oh, I'm not sure about this.
Still building a lot of links as well, right?
He's gonna bust. I'm not sure about this. So the thing is, against multi-Rex Reaper, they don't have a secondary wall. So they only have 1 wall. Once you bust through, there is no wall on top of the ramp. But you need 5 banelings for that wall. And then you still want some banelings left over. So if there's a bunker, it's always just a loss. The thing is, will ByuN figure this out? Since there's already speedlinks on the map, it's going to be very, very difficult for him to scout this.
Wow, Reynor definitely gambling here a little bit in game 3 of the upper bracket final. How many SCVs does he need?
Oh, he sees it right now in time. Good first grenade, good second grenade as well.
Cool.
But he's still going to end up losing that supply depot there in the end. There's no secondary wall, but a lot of Marines at this point.
Oh, the SCVs were too far forward, so all the SCVs died to the Banelings, and that's not enough Marines. Now the Marines are just going to spawn one by one. One Reaper managed to save himself towards the main base. I think it's enough Zerglings left over, because the Marines that are spawning from the natural will just instantly die. He's trying to pull more SCVs. That's a lot of SCVs. They're going to tank very nicely for the 2 Marines and the
Should we go for the stim upgrade right now?
I don't think so. I think you just have to keep the Marine numbers low, and that's what he's trying to go for. I don't think this was enough damage, and once the re-wall is there, you can't get in anymore. Okay, still some links working on the SCVs here.
Reynor did not look happy.
Where's the
there.
follow-up links? Okay, there they are.
Still a couple of coming. Wow, but ByuN was already dropping mules, by the way, in the natural. I don't think we have quite reached that phase yet, ByuN, but I think he is overall pretty happy. 18 workers with 18 workers, obviously good. Stim is done. These 2 barracks are going to have to relocate. Might be a bit annoying, right, for ByuN to actually properly take control again of the low ground, but all he really needs is like 6 to 8 Marines. And well, Reynor's still morphing.
He needs a wall.
That is a fake though, right? I think that's...
No. He's all in. ByuN needs a wall. He doesn't have that many Marines. It's just 2 Marines at a time coming from the main base. I don't know why Reynor is attacking before the Banelings are out. Once again, against the SCVs, I don't like that decision by him. He had so many links still left over and still some Banelings. If he fights there with the Banelings against the SCVs, there's no way 6 Marines can...
So you think it would have been better to just run back and forth with the links?
It's still smart, guys.
To deny the wall, basically.
He's droning behind it right now. Combat Shield and Stimpack are done, so I don't know if you can really continue, but he still has such a large army.
Though, right? Combat Shield is not done.
Combat Shield is also done, I think.
Really?
It's finished, yes.
In the main base? Or
He had a second tech lab in the main.
I'm pretty sure ByuN planned to SCV pull. I've seen him do this build before. It's a 2-Rex Reaper into a 4-Rex SCV pull. So he had a lot of units, so that was kind of fortunate for him, but just the fact that he didn't have the secondary wall really helped Reynor here. Honestly, I like Reynor's position after all of this.
+1 armor again, actually, for Reynor. I like that. ByuN doesn't have a whole lot here as far as unit variety goes.
How many queens does Reynor have? 3 or 4 now? 4? Okay. So not that many queens at the very least. Now here comes the move out. He can still decide to go back if he wants to and let this be a fake move out just to force out some units. He has to do that because he's so far behind in economy. If he just sits back and does absolutely nothing, it's not going to work. As we can see, like Reynor is making Zerglings now, even though ByuN doesn't actually want to move out yet. So that's decent for ByuN, but ByuN is already getting outmined by so much. He's going to have 1 punch and he's going to need to focus fire every single Baneling, basically. That's like his winning condition.
To be honest, the micro did look very good on Waterfall. So.
Yeah.
If we can do that one more time. This is exactly what I was mentioning earlier, where Reynor could go for counterattacks immediately, and that's why ByuN had to wait a little bit longer. This time around left 8 or 9 Marines behind. That's going to be enough to push these links away. We throw down a scan. Obviously we can't use Stimpack to trigger happy here, since there are no medivacs, and every stim would truly hurt the HP of these Marines.
I think you go back here. I don't think you ever engage here.
You'd be very desperate right now to engage. Problem is, if you go back right now, though, you're going to face off against an even bigger Zerg army. He's going for a lair right now. Baneling speed is going to fire up here very soon as well for Reynor. And as soon as Baneling speed is done, what in the world are you going to do?
Yeah, I mean, he has a timing with 2 medivacs before Baneling speed, and this is also just half his army for now, because there's a lot of Marines that spawned that he couldn't send because of the units that Reynor had on the map. Reynor now, once again, going in between to make sure there's no reinforcements that join up with this army. And
that's a lot of links on the way.
I mean, at this point, I think Reynor almost can catch this army.
Yeah, he can probably start just attacking this straight up. He's got so many units.
Seems like he wants to, because he has been making a lot of extra links. Look at the minimap. That main army is still waiting on the right side. It's going to make it very hard for these Marines to get home. There are no medivacs to save these Marines, and ByuN knows that his army is in a little bit of trouble. Now he uses the stim. He could maybe get a couple of the Banelings.
Yeah, he got the other half on the right side of the screen right now, though. Now he's going to engage with the original group, and that one gets absolutely surrounded. Brilliant micro right here from Reynor, making the best of this tricky situation and absolutely walking over that Terran army.
That's a beautiful army movement there by Reynor. You could really see that he was looking for that, he was sharking around, eventually set up the perfect surround. ByuN tried to micro his way out of it, but Reynor just had way too many units, as he's now in the natural, once more on top of all the SCVs.
I've seen ByuN go for a variety of openers on this map. Usually when he's ahead in a series, he seems to go for that pocket base really quickly. Seen him go for a lot of really quick triple command center builds. It's actually pretty fun. He's going for some CC first stuff as well, but in this particular series, he doesn't have any wiggle room.
If you're Reynor and you scout this Lambo, what's the first thing that goes through your mind?
I'm thinking, okay, how can you have 2 Marines already? And then, okay, there must be 2 wrecks. And then, okay, what can you make with the 2 wrecks? I guess I need to be a little bit more careful of my overlord standing in front of my base.
Can we confirm if he saw that or not? Okay, he did. Yeah. Oh my god, we have a live camera of the kitchen. Look at Big Gabriel doing his work. I love it. Yeah. Oh my god, that's 4 barracks.
That's 4 barracks in total. We've seen a lot of 3 barracks play. Now it's going to be a quadruple Rex.
Are we going to all in then, Lambo? Or does this not necessarily mean that we will all in? I'm sorry. Lambo's actually enjoying his pizza, guys. I didn't see Lambo.
He looked at you so disappointedly when he...
I was like, fucking Roddy, let me just enjoy my gay pizza. I'm actually really confused where this is going, because we have no factory yet, and it doesn't
He's going to have to go for an attack for sure. So we've seen a lot of triple Rex play, right?
You think he's going to pull the boys?
I think he probably... well, yeah. He doesn't necessarily have to, but he's going to have an awful lot of stuff. A lot of Zerg players, I guess, have gotten used to dealing with the triple Rex opener, so you kind of expect a certain amount. But now ByuN is going to have significantly more.
I think we're going to pull the boys. No boys, no fun.
No boys, no fun.
What's up with that second wall there, by the way? That's kind of cool. Couple of depots.
That is actually really cute.
Yeah.
If there would be another Baneling bust here, that would be fantastic. What are you making of this, Lambo?
Well, there's no downside to it, so you might as well.
No, I meant of the...
Oh yeah, he's not gonna pull the boys. It's basically just a 3 Rex. Zerg started defending the 3 Rex without Banelings, because you can. It's very similar to our 2-1-1 defense.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
he just thinks if he has a couple more Marines, he can maybe punch through. That's basically the thought behind it. Just a little bit of an offset in the exact Marine numbers can help him just win a game straight away.
Reynor, though, not skipping the Baneling nest at the very least. I mean, this is just a conventional timing, I suppose, but he knows now that there is a move out happening, and he starts up a ton of Zerglings. One of the problems, though, with this delayed Marine push is that the creep has been spreading very, very nicely for some time already for Reynor. Maybe not as far as it could have been, but it is still in a fantastic spot. There's a lot of queens, a lot of energy on them as well.
So the issue with these builds is the Terran can't know the drone count of the Zerg, so they don't know if they can commit. Okay, Reynor's queens are a little bit too far forward, which means the Marines can engage into them while they're still off creep. So the Zerglings can't do anything here. It's still just too many queens and not enough Marines, so ByuN has to go back. This is not as bad as it looks because Reynor was actually on a super low drone count. So the trade overall was still decent for ByuN, and the working count is almost even. So it's not the absolute worst. But
yeah, but no third CC again, right? On a map with such an easy third CC.
Yeah, it's a very committed build once again for ByuN. Maybe he lost a little bit of confidence in the macro game after the first one. Although I always think that's a little bit weird because that's also the worst map for him. So yeah, he does start the late third CC now, but he definitely wants to do some damage before any of that kicks in.
Baneling speed coming up right now for Reynor. He doesn't know yet that obviously there is no third command center. I don't think he's seen the pocket base in quite some time. Yeah, so now one starts up, but that is minutes later than when we normally see it.
Reynor is actually playing so incredibly safe that even if ByuN does absolutely nothing, as long as he doesn't lose his units, he's not in the worst spot.
Yeah. He's already got the 4th hatchery taken in the bottom left right now, but he still has to fully saturate his own 3rd. Single Evo chamber upgrade again as well, by the way. So, yeah, the longer that this goes on, the better it actually starts looking for ByuN, right?
Yeah. And he's
It's already
gas
looking
as well,
pretty
which is really bad against ByuMind.
It's already looking pretty good for ByuN, especially if he keeps sniping banelings like that. And that is something that really has been excellent throughout the best of 5. Extra drones are on the way for Reynor, who's starting to realize that, alright, you're clearly not trying to end this game before minute 10. And it's pretty Marauder heavy probably as well, as it seems like there's a tiny bit of lag. Hopefully it does not bother the players all that much. And yeah, we've seen that a few times of some of the Korean Terrans, where they actually go very heavy on the Marauders. It's not the usual 3 or 4 Marauders in the front trying to soak up some banelings, but you're just looking at 1 point at 20 Marauders steaming forward, and even Lynx can have sometimes a hard time engaging Marauders, as Lynx are supposed to be good against them, but the Marauder count is very high. It can be difficult for just Lynx to engage, and Banelings against Marauders is not an ideal scenario for the Zerg.
Especially if your melee upgrades are behind the armor upgrades of the Terran. The Zerglings actually trade pretty poorly against Marauders with Marines behind them. So now he's once again trying to engage. He mostly only got Marauders. There's no Banelings left over. There's 19 Banelings morphing in the back, so he should be safe. But ByuN is just stimming for the hatchery, and as long as there's no Banes, he can just pick up.
Oh, he needs to be very careful though, but yeah, he does manage to get on out of there while sniping the hatchery as well.
Ooh. Did not expect those 2 Widow Mines there in the back as well.
I absolutely love how decisive ByuN is when he sees there is a hatchery that he feels he can take. He doesn't second guess himself, he doesn't go back and forth and it's like, maybe, nope, he just goes for it. And if he ever needs to get out, he will still try to get out, but I love it because you gotta be decisive against these kinds of Zerg players. They won't give you too many opportunities to take out a hatch. And so far in this series, I feel that whenever ByuN had the chance, he went for it and he got it.
Here we go though, those Marauders in the front, a couple of Widow Mines as well, trying to soak up as many Banelings as possible.
Since there's a lot of Hydras, you do want to be a little bit careful with your medivacs there if you're ByuN, because those 2 Widow Mines actually dealt a lot of damage to all his medivacs.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially once Vipers come in there, one parasitic bomb can do a lot of damage, and I think that's probably the next step for Reynor. But first he needs to keep defending this position. If the creep goes any further back, it's all going to be off creep. As this is what happens if it's off creep. The Terran can just run back, because Marines are faster in Banelings, and then just turn around.
The Lurker then is obviously close to finishing up, but it does still feel that this could be a bit dire for Reynor, as ByuN is going to go for it, but Banelings do finally connect with the majority of those Bio units there, and that's an excellent hold by Reynor, very well done, because that looked really scary for a bit.
Yeah, he needed that as well, right? Those Lurkers are going to make this a whole lot easier to defend, but he wasn't there just yet. Thought for a second actually that was game over, but then all the Banelings came from the top.
And it also wasn't the cleanest pickup from ByuN. Obviously, it's very difficult to pick up this many units at once. But yeah, that fight was fantastic for Reynor, who now can re-spread the creep down there. And at the same time, since Reynor's so fast, the creep in the middle is creeping back.
Does he have a Ghost Academy yet? I'm assuming so, right? But I haven't seen any Ghosts yet. Okay, he does have it, yeah. He's going to need them very soon.
Most important question though, guys. Where's Burrow?
Burrow?
Burrow.
Burrow's pretty good.
What do you think, Lambo?
Yeah, Burrow is good.
We absolutely need it, don't we? I tried to piss off Reynor by overhyping up Burrow for 4 games in a row. And he was absolutely losing it. But now he hasn't gone Burrow once in the entire best of 5, and I think he's doing it on purpose.
Well, I never go Burrow, because because it distracts me more than it helps me.
He looked next to his monitor, he's like, Roddy's casting this one? You know what? Never getting it.
I do it. Whenever I see Rotti's casting games, I make Hydras just for him to make him happy.
And you always win with them too. The most important ZVPs you play, if all else fails, you always go back to the Hydra and it gets the job done.
Always back to the Hydra.
That mean killing machine, man. They're spinning its way through tournaments. I love it, mate.
Those random Widow Mines burrowed all over the map, making it difficult for Reynor to move around. Hold position, fire though! Very nicely done. Grabs that. Oh, wow.
Maybe didn't even need it, because
he wasn't paying attention at all. A couple of Liberators right now also not in the right place at all.
What's happening, ByuN?
Yeah, ByuN is starting to fall apart a little bit here.
This is not a base that he ever should have lost, but because of these...
Oh, wow,
that
is
was
he going to?
slick. Wow, that SCV micro was really sexy.
Yeah, he went through the command center, right? He put him in the command center, rallied him to the other side. Excellent work right there from ByuN.
Seismic Spines is done. Adaptive Talents is very close to finishing up as well, which should allow Reynor to be a bit more aggressive. That Widowmine is still there guarding the sensor tower. It's another decent shot. 17 kills.
Yeah.
Man, I really wanted to know how many kills that Colossus had from Zaun on Cosmic Sapphire.
Versus Serral?
Yeah.
100. So
100?
we were counting the entire time and it died right on 100.
Okay, because I was not
actually
watching
sick.
with audio, but I was looking at the game. I was like, how long is that thing surviving? I
No,
wanna know how
Marty
many-
started counting. He's like, guys, he's at 82. He's going to get 100. And then he got like, oh, he's at 99 right now. He was
Is
at
that when
99
you guys
for
started
ages.
cheering?
Yeah, so yeah, exactly. He got exactly 100 and then he died. He was at 99 for like a full minute. Actually crazy.
That's funny, because we didn't have the audio on downstairs, because the TVs that don't have audio. That's very funny. We were all very involved in the Colossus story too.
Yeah, that Colossus was nuts. We asked him about the Colossus later, although hold that thought right now. The Banelings, okay, trying to connect as well. This is a good fight though for ByuN here. Well, at least it started as one.
Love
Yeah, I think
Bane.
it definitely was an efficient trade for ByuN. He's still behind a little bit, but I mean, he's making 6 command centers right now. If that was just bank,
Yeah.
it wouldn't look that bad. But I mean, to be honest, as long as he's not dying, it's completely fine for him.
Terrans really have become
Hey.
fans of the command center.
Is this the first game in history where ByuN has +3 attack, but he does not have +3 armor?
Yeah, he completely forgot it.
Normally it's the
because
other way
he's-
around, so.
Yeah, it's because he started with the +1. He started with only 1 eBay, so he always was 1 ahead, and maybe like he already has it for quite a while.
Yeah, that would actually be quite painful though as this game progresses, because he's not looking to end this anytime soon, it seems.
The SCVs are blocking him because they're on auto repair, so they are blocking his own
Oh,
units from
good EMP.
retreating. Not the best micro from ByuN, and now once these lurkers are set up, there's not that many ghosts left, is there?
Nope, a couple of ghosts absolutely died. There are only 2 remain right now. 7 Lurkers still for Reynor, as Reynor also managed to kill one of those command centers there during all of that.
Is that a lurker over there as well? Yeah, in the
Yeah.
bottom right-hand corner being as annoying as possible. He scans so he can see it, but there's nothing he actually has to deal with it right now.
This is annoying after losing the Liberators and only having 2 ghosts.
Yeah.
It really is a bit problematic for ByuN.
Do you think 6 command centers may have been a little bit much, guys?
I think it might have been.
Depends.
I also think he just didn't have enough AoE. I think he still is only on 1 factory Widowmine production, which is very rough because he mostly lost that position to a Link Bane, and then yeah. Now
I mean,
it's
command centers are obviously good, right? But now he doesn't have money to actually remax with. If he manages to survive, it's going to be great, but that command center in the bottom right is in a lot of trouble.
yeah. I think ByuN just lost the momentum of this game completely with a couple of botched fights, and now the CCs just not started at the correct timing.
ByuN knows it. If you look at his camera, he is not happy with how this one went. Definitely had his moments throughout this best of 5, but it seems like ByuN can get ready for a lower bracket best of 5 against Australia. The American Protoss is absolutely on fire. And the winner of that series will duke it out with Reynor in the grand finals if Reynor does manage to close out this game. If Reynor does not close it out in the near future, there's always some hope, because there are plenty of ghosts on the way.
Yeah.
And we even have the comeback Reaper.
And he's got the pocket expansion still as well to mine, right? He never took that one early. Would love to see that one coming up here. Yeah, he's thinking the same thing right now. I mean, he needs something.
And hence Shockwaves also finishing up against the Overseers.
Sick. Those Overseers are not going to know what hit him. No more contaminations, guys.
Will they get sniped or will they get EMP'd? A couple of Vipers coming in as well right now. Maybe even Abducts on the ghosts, even though it's most likely just going to be some blinding clouds. Wouldn't hate a parasitic bomb in the middle of all these medivacs. One of the most satisfying things you can do as a Zerg player, as a Reynor really is making his way deep into the natural double parasitic bomb. Here come the Banelings. Can they connect with the ghost? The answer is yes, and that really seems to do it. I think Reynor, for the 2nd time in his career, is going to make it to the grand finals of a Homestory Cup, as the Lings are all over the 3rd base as well. Lings in the bottom right side, Banelings in the main. The man has done it, Lambo.
He has. He's played a really nice series, won the macro games, won with a Baneling all in, knew what to do. And even though he just played it super safe this game, he just played good enough afterwards.
Wow. GG's. Very nice games right there.